I know a lot of them in that corridor itself who might have wanted to go into dancewear because they were super passionate about their clothing. They just maybe never envisioned a business out of it. So I was like, take a risk, do something. And really, you will never walk alone because there is a market to accompany you with. And that's a wonderful way to go into lesson number 3. Now, the thing about risk is that every business itself is a risk. You took an even bigger one by going to another country and going to dancewear itself, which is also a huge risk to begin with. Anything dance related is a risk. Let's just say that because it's just a hard industry. Right. But you patched it up. Yeah, you got in there and you made it happen. And that is something I truly, truly admire. Now, let's talk about the incident, or I wouldn't call it incident, the episode where we first connected on a call and you just came back from a trade fair. And I was like, oh my gosh, like trade fairs are some of the scariest things I can think of. Speaking to a number of people, I mean, I've been to 1 or 2 myself, and it's crazy the amount of money you have to shell out to even just get a booth there. And you talk about risk, there's huge risk involved at fairs, right? So bring us through some of your experience at trade fairs and why it's such a big risk for companies of your magnitude.
Well, yes, definitely. Trade fair was a big risk. I took my first risk actually in 2021. No, the year where COVID arrived in Italy. When was it? 2020. I did my first fair in Italy in 2020, end of February. And if you remember, COVID arrived in Italy end of February and flights were stopped in March. I took one of the last flights to go back to Korea before they totally shut down Italy. It was the fair itself in Firenze was going really well for the brand. It was my first time. I was so happy to exhibit. I was so happy to show my collection to Europe and meet a lot of people like brand representatives, other brand. I met a Block team. They were really nice. Gaynor Minden, they're adorable. I'm really enjoying the girls from Gaynor Minden. Also well meeting some shops. It was doing so well until COVID happened right away. So all what I invested in this fair like totally crashed down right after. Some shops that were interesting are actually bankrupt during the COVID, shut the door. So it was a very difficult time for all the dance shop this COVID period, I think, and all these brand representatives as well, because they couldn't work properly. So it was not a good time to start investigating and arriving into the European market as a foreigner brand. It was really not, I was really out of the timeline. So I decided, okay, COVID now it's getting more stable and maybe I can try again. So I try again this fair for a second time this year, 2023. In Italy and France, I did another trade fair in France in Lyon, which were very private and intimate, which I really, really enjoyed. Actually, I'm very happy of that fair. It's really about the French buyers, like French community. And since I'm still French, then I was really fitting there very well and really, really happy I have done this fair because it gives you a real like proximity to, my neighbor was the representative of Block France and Belgium. He was so kind. Like we had a lot of time to kind of exchange, talk. We all take the lunch in the same place. And it was a great moment where you can really get a beginning of relationship with other brand representatives or shops, which were really great. And I did Italy one, and Italy one is really big, really, really big. Especially this year, they changed ownership. So it's a different owner who is actually organizing the fair, which was very different from 2020. And compared to the investment I put in Italy, I don't know yet if the results are going to come back, but I'm starting to be a bit skeptical about it. But it's a one shot, or it works or it doesn't work. And who knows, maybe some people I met in this 2023, in 2 or 3 years, they're going to be very happy to work with us because they saw us already 2 years ago. So who knows? I cannot really give any answer if it was a good fair, a bad fair, or like, I have no idea yet. It's too early to say, but definitely it's doing such a big fair with such a big investment as a small brand like mine. I really put my loan in there. And honestly, I'm not sure it's going to come back. So it's definitely a risk. you take it or you don't take it, but sometimes I feel like you have to go for it. Like you cannot just stay comfortable in your comfort zone always, all the time. Sometimes you have to go out and reach and see. And if you get beaten, then come back home. It's all right.